Welcome in to the CHGO Bears Podcast on an NFL owners meeting Tuesday down in Orlando. 3 of us in studio. We do apologize for the delay, but rest assured it was for good causes here because we're bringing you a ton of clips today. Kevin Warren, Matt Eberflus, all of it coming up here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're just 250 away from 53,000 as we make our climb to 100K and beyond. Would love to cross 53 today. So if you're not a subscriber and you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And welcome in to our new diehards. It's coming up a little bit later in the show. All right. As we go down to Orlando, the question that's on everybody's mind. First of all, hi, Nick.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Greg.
Hello.
Hello, Steven.
Hi, Adam.
Hi. Now I can bring, before I just want to say hello to everybody. Now, Hoge, if you would like to finally admit that Carm
was right.
You were right. They should name the stadium Warren Carm Way.
Oh.
When they have the first Super Bowl in Chicago on the lakefront, now is your opportunity as you asked the question, and he said put a shovel in the ground on the lakefront. Would you like to admit that, you know what, Carm, you were right all along? Now's your opportunity.
First of all, I like Greg's introduction better by just saying hello. It's a very nice, respectful hi, Adam. I appreciate that. A little bit more aggressive on your end, Carm.
Hoge is getting the Caleb Williams treatment.
Cheers.
Well, if we don't start every show with Carm being right about something, then it's not a show.
Exactly right. I do not have a very good internal,
Hi.
But you're just right so much.
It is exhausting. It's exhausting. I mean, quite frankly.
I was gonna say it's more like, I don't know, Chris Getz batting average, as I give him a random stray. Look, if you want to take your victory lap now, go ahead, man. I do. I still want to see the money come in. I still want to see the parking. I asked Kevin Warren that question today. There was no answer to that question, so I'm still wondering where the parking, where the cars go, where the tailgating happens. There's a lot of things. But I will give you this card because the one thing that you were, I don't even think right's the right way to put it, but you were unrealistic. And what this took, if it gets to the finish line, and this is, I'm being sincere about this, it took an unrealistic vision. And I honestly believe that maybe if Kevin Warren can get this done, he might have been the only human on the planet, especially not you. You might have had the same vision, but there's no way you could have gotten this done the way Kevin Warren is apparently maybe getting this done. But I'm giving you credit on the vision. I'm 100% giving you credit on the vision on this because I still don't understand how it's realistic with the parking and all this stuff, but fine. If they're going to come up with this, it took a true visionary to basically just say, why the hell not? Like, why? So what if we're Chicago and all we do is fuck up stadiums, time after time after time after time? Why can't we get it right? Which, by the way, is the same thing that hopefully is happening with the quarterback position on the football field, right? So and Kevin Warren talked about that stuff today. He talked about all it takes is people to get in a room and be like, why can't we do this? And it's got to be on both sides. It's got to be on the city side too. It's got to be on the government side. But I do think that Kevin Warren is hitting the right notes on this. The fact he's already met with friends of the park, they seem to have at least an idea of how to get around that obstacle. It's possible. And I've said all along, if you can build the world-class stadium that Chicago needs on the lakefront, that's where it should go. Chicago's needed this forever. So it just never seemed like it was going to be possible to do. And we got a long ways to go as guys. We got renderings that still need to come out. We need to see actual plans. We need to see what the actual money is. But and we're going to play some of this here in a second. I know I'll let you guys follow up first before we do that. Just to get asked directly, and I did do this at the end. Okay, you get all those things right now buttoned up. Is the plan to put the shovel in the ground on the lakefront or give Arlington Heights another chance to lure the Bears to Arlington Heights to basically fix what they've kind of screwed up on their end? It was no, we'll put the shovel in the ground on the lakefront. That's a big declaration. I mean, that is confirmation that this is if, and it's a giant if they can get all that red tape figured out here in the coming months, maybe this thing's really going to move forward on the lakefront.
Well, I mean, and forgive me for just being completely exhausted by this conversation and having no faith. I mean, when you talk about the red tape that is Chicago politics, it never ends. It streams all the way down Lakeshore Drive and past Evanston. And for me, it's like, all right, just wake me up when you guys actually come to a deal wherever you're going to go and you go on this, parade to all these different cities and different location opportunities. And I don't have any faith. Like, how they're never going to build a new stadium. This is going to go on for the rest of our lives. And one day it'll be Adam called it, and the next day it'll be Carm called it. And for me, it's annoying to talk about because I look forward to the day we can walk into a new stadium. I'd love for it to be in Chicago if it, is something that they can work out. But I ultimately don't care. I just want a new stadium.
Well, Mark and I were having this discussion. I'm like, okay, but what are the real benefits of going to the city on the lakefront when you're not going to own your own stadium? You have 326 acres of land in Arlington Heights, but it seems like Kevin Warren, there is a shift, and he does want to put that shovel in the lakefront to please you there, Mark.
So we're talking about legacies here. We're talking about where he believes the Bears belong, which is where really my whole argument started. The Bears belong in Chicago. They're the Chicago Bears. They're not the Arlington Heights Bears. They're not the Chicagoland Bears. They're the Chicago Bears. And I get that Chicago has done some of the
dumb that sounds.
No, I don't, because
I think that's a problem here. Because what's best for the Bears and best for the city is that they actually build a good stadium, and that 20 years from now, we're not talking about how another mistake that was made. And you don't just make another mistake because of your idea that the Bears belong in Chicago versus Arlington Heights. Arlington Heights is just as much of this community as the city is, too. Like, this is a Chicagoland area.
No, it isn't. How many people live in Arlington Heights? How many people live in Chicago? It's not the same. And who said anything about building a bad stadium? I'm not saying build a bad stadium. I'm saying build a great stadium. Build an amazing stadium. Build the best stadium. That's what Kevin Warren's saying. I didn't say build some crap hole that would just put it in Chicago.
Right, but I guess this is where I'm just going to have to continue to be the person that's, trying to be rational about this. You can't screw this up. And this is Chicago. So I actually, do have faith in Kevin Warren in building the right stadium because he's done it, because they did this in Minnesota. And it was almost the same exact situation where they looked at the suburbs first. They came back to Minneapolis. They built where the other stadium already existed. It wasn't ideal. They had to go play outside at TCF Bank Stadium for a few years in a college thing, but they figured it all out. He said, why not? Why can't we do this? And now, in my opinion, that's the best stadium that exists in the National Football League. So I do have faith in him. It's the rest of this that I'm still skeptical about. And here, let's do this. Let's hear from Kevin Warren talking about this stuff. And because you're going to hear one of my questions in here, which is, how do you know in 20 years that the Bears aren't frustrated again with the city and the Park District and everything involved? And that's just one of many of the topics in this chunk. I think it's about 5 minutes here, but I want fans to be able to hear what Kevin Warren had to say this morning about the stadium.
The other thing that concerns me and for an individual who lives downtown, I can say that. I heard that there was a point in time in the last decade in Chicago that there were up to 63 cranes in the air, and we need to verify that. And now I think it's 3. And so when you just think about the growth, these cities are, we're competing with other cities. And if you haven't seen it, I would read it. The Sports Business Journal article, I think it was from March 18th. It listed the top 25 sports business cities in the country. For Chicago to not have been on that list is a major concern. I mean, we had cities, Orlando, which we're here, ironically, was number 1. But you had places like Indianapolis and Minneapolis who were in the top 12, top 13. And you had even places like Milwaukee and Detroit who were cities to watch. But to think Chicago, with this massive background, all the professional sports teams we have, the beautiful landscape, the topography, all those things involved, known for Chicago, for an incredible sports city, for us not to be on that city from a business standpoint, those are the things that, as a citizen of downtown Chicago and the state of Illinois, those are things from a business standpoint concern me. I look forward to the day that events like this should and can be and will be held in downtown Chicago.
So have you shared that with Mayor Johnson? Have you shared that with Mayor Johnson?
I share that story with anyone who will listen to me, because those are concerns, and I can give you an example. Growing up in Arizona, Las Vegas was a place that only certain adults went for only certain events. And it was a place that I grew up that I've never vacationed there. I only went there for business meetings that I had to go to. My wife Greta and I go to the Super Bowl this year, and I look at her after the Super Bowl, we're at dinner, and I said, this is a place that I actually would come back and visit. They've done an excellent job of bringing professional hockey, professional football, now baseball, and all those other events. And the way that Las Vegas performed, that won't be their last Super Bowl. And so when I sit there and say, that's what Chicago should be able to do.
Kevin, the issues with Soldier Field, the team's relationship with the city and the Park District, well documented at this point. If you were to go down the road of another partnership with the city for a stadium on the lakefront, obviously you're talking about a decades-long partnership. What type of assurances do you have that 20 years down the road or whatever, that those issues aren't going to come up again?
I believe in people. I believe in relationships, and even since I've been able to been here and spend time with individuals at Soldier Field, individuals at the Park District, individuals in the city of Chicago, I've only been welcomed, and we've had a great relationship, and I think people have seen that, they feel it, and I'm just confident that when you have a common goal that people can focus on and come together, I'm confident that we'll have a positive relationship as we go forward. And so one of the things I promised myself when I started on April 17th of last year, I was going to understand and appreciate and embrace the history of the Chicago Bears and all the relationships, but any tension or negativity, I was not going to take it forward. And so I started from scratch, and I feel that we have not only great from a business relationship, but we've developed a personal relationship, and we've worked together very well. So I'm pleased with the way that it's gone, and I look forward to even building stronger relationships in the future. So that's an area not really a concern of mine, but a good question.
So what happens next with the Arlington site? And I guess how would you characterize, from the team's perspective, why the Chicago project eventually gained more momentum than Arlington?
Yeah, I mean, we are the largest landowner in Arlington Heights right now, 326 acres. We own a beautiful piece of land, and I have great respect for Mayor Hayes and Randy Reckless and all of the politicians there. So, my belief right now, these projects are incredibly difficult, and just learning the various things that I did in Minnesota, you have to be laser focused. And right now, we're putting our energy to downtown Chicago, to the museum campus, just from an energy and resource standpoint. So we still own the land. We're the largest landowner. We'll stay in communication with Arlington Heights, but the focus now has to be on Chicago to give us the best opportunity for success.
Just to be clear on the stadium, if everything comes together, I mean, you guys have said the focus is now the lakefront.
Yep.
Everything comes together, all the obstacles, the money. the plan is to put a shovel on the ground on the lakefront, or does Arlington Heights get a chance to come back? And
The plan would be to put a shovel on the ground on the lakefront.
And there it is. The plan would be to put a shovel in the ground on the lakefront. Oh, go ahead.
And I followed up with we just had a chance to talk to George McCaskey, which, by the way, was why the show started when it did today, because the owner only talks about once a day, or once a year, I should say. So we want to make sure that we have that covered when he does talk. But one of the things I asked him was, so if all that's true, is the plan then just sell the land in Arlington Heights? And he just said we haven't gotten that far yet. So, look, I think it's fair to say that the favorite in this situation now has moved from Arlington Heights to the lakefront. But I also think that we still need to have some patience to understand that there's a lot more steps to this. We don't even have a plan yet. We still don't have renderings. There's going to be a lot of arguments over different things, whether that's green space or parking space. And I don't think it's completely dead yet for Arlington Heights, but this is definitely a significant development. And again, I'll say it, if Kevin Warren can get this done, it's good for the city of Chicago. It's what should happen. Our city should have Final Fours and Super Bowls and all these big events. And it's been a long time coming. It's very overdue. And I hope that that's how this whole thing ends.
The dude is trying to not only save the Bears, but save the city. There were 60 cranes. Now there's 3. This guy's unbelievable. I give him a lot of credit for even going down the road. All right, get into everything else, and I've got some more thoughts on this. I'm sure you guys do too. But first, shout out to a friend, CD1 Price Cleaners. Go to chgo.cd1.com, which I did yesterday, and I got a little on the app, or on the website rather. I got a little coupon, got myself a free garment. It was sweet. Fred Carman's pants are now cleaned. I'm going to bring them back to him. There you go, Freddie. Customers can save over 30% off their dry cleaning by switching to CD1 Price Cleaners. And by the way, I was in there at 10 o'clock yesterday, had my pants back. I had my dad's pants back. By 4 o'clock it was ready. I mean, they don't ship it out. That's amazing. Do it right there. I mean, this place is a full service. Dry cleaning, wash and fold laundry, blankets and comforters, tailoring, alterations, leather cleaning, area rug cleaning, everything you need. And yes, you get the text message when the garment's ready, and it's same day or next day. It's really impressive. So visit chgo.cd1.com. Link is in the description, chgo.cd1.com. Once there, you can pick up that in-store coupon that I did yesterday, or online pickup and delivery coupon options as well.
Got to check out CD1 Price Cleaners. And then you also have to check out True Fan Travel, your passport to the world of sports. Over 8,000 plus fans traveled over 145 trips. Don't just watch the game, live it. Travel to the most sought-after games worldwide, from football to baseball, basketball, soccer, and more. They have custom travel packages that include tickets, 4 to 5-star accommodations, and unique local experiences, making it an unforgettable sports getaway. Also, you can get exclusive meet and greets with former players, shake hands, snap photos, and share moments with legendary former players of your favorite sports. There's also hassle-free travel planning by travel experts who make sure every detail is covered, from game day to excursions. And you can explore the wide selection of destinations featuring iconic sports cities and hidden gems where the spirit of the game comes alive. True Fan Travel is your trusted travel partner for professional sports events around the world. And there's a huge event coming up here shortly, and I cannot wait to officially unveil that to you guys, what we have planned with True Fan Travel. I'm super excited, so you got to keep your eyes open. But again, True Fan Travel, where you don't just watch the game, you live it.
So, all right. We heard from Warren there. They have a sit-down in the Tribune. Colin Kane's got an article. There's a couple quotes here that I wanted to bring out. One was, I think our stadium, this is Kevin Warren talking, I think our stadium provides the city of Chicago with the opportunity to decide who we want to be. And if we want to be that world-class city, then I know that we are. This is an opportunity for us to come together and be able to do it. And then one more here for everybody who's freaking out about the money. And I'm freaking out about the money, but I just really appreciated him saying this. One thing I can guarantee you, this is Warren talking, I am fiscally conservative and I am financially responsible. So anything we recommend from a financial standpoint will be very well thought out. And Hoge, you can speak to this. You know it better than I do. What he did in Minnesota and how fast they paid that stadium off. I'm not saying that exactly can happen here, but because that happened, those words, no one in this world ever talks about fiscal responsibility. I swear to God, I never hear it. Just we live on credit card debt. That's what the world is. That is not how he's talking, which I really appreciate hearing that from him.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, they paid off the stadium in Minnesota 23 years early, in large part because of pull tabs. And I know we don't really know about pull tabs a lot in Chicago. Maybe you do, depending on where you're at. But I mean, it's literally like almost like a lottery thing you get at bars. You buy some pull tabs, you open them. They got little almost like a paper slot machine, and if you line them up, you win some money. And so people sit there at bars, and it's not like a lot of money, but they end up that accumulates over time really, really fast. And that's how they paid off the stadium in Minnesota. So, but again, it's not the Kevin Warren side of this I'm worried about. It's the Chicago side of this. I agree with everything he's saying, and he's right, and it's cool. And maybe this dude should be running for mayor. I don't know. But, it's the Chicago side of it that's got to meet the Bears halfway. And I'll give you a little nugget here, too, before we switch over to more football stuff, because I know we want to do that. But Warren brought up the White Sox, or maybe I asked him about that. I asked about if they're competing for money. But when George McCaskey talked to us, when he was asked his first stadium question, I think it was Herb Howard who asked it, he immediately brought up the White Sox on his own. And they were aligned in their messaging today that their goal is not to just get a Bears stadium and, leave the White Sox out, screwed out of money, because the White Sox are probably going to need more, or the Bears are going to definitely use more private money than the White Sox will, because we just know Jerry. But they seem like they have good intentions to make sure that both of these stadiums get done. Now, maybe that's just words, but that would align with everything we're hearing here from Kevin Warren talking about what's best for this city. And that would be great if you can come up with the solution for both, and it's not just one getting the money and the other one not. So I just thought that was a little interesting nugget that was thrown out there too.
Last thing, we'll move along, but Kingfisher89 just put in the chat, it's been put a couple times today, and people have thought about it and have said it. People buying into leverage. This is all a negotiating ploy. I'm not saying that's not there isn't part of that in here, but his desire is very clear. He wants this to happen. This is not negotiating. There is some level to it that is beneficial, but this is what he wants. So can he get it? Will it make sense? Will they come together? Will Chicago? Will Springfield? Will the state meet him halfway? Who the hell knows? But this is clearly what he wants.
Yeah, I've agreed with you from the start on that, Carm. He lives in Chicago. He doesn't have to. He could easily live in Lake Forest. He loves this city. When he talked about, going to Vegas and seeing how they brought these teams into that city and how it's helped. Yeah, I do agree that this isn't a front. He is trying to get the most out of the city. And ultimately, I do think that's a good thing. To leave Soldier Field where it's at and go to Arlington Heights, you're just leaving that part of the city desolate. And all the businesses are going to be severely affected by that. So, if they can get it done, that's a great thing for Chicago.
Go ahead, Hoge.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I just keep going back to this idea of leverage. The Bears are in a better spot now that they have two realistic options. They're the largest landowner in Arlington Heights, and now this thing on the lakefront looks more realistic. So I think at the end of the day, whether this comes together in the lakefront or it's Arlington Heights budging and that becomes a backup plan that they can always pivot back to, worst case scenario. I don't think that this was the plan to begin with, because Kevin Warren wasn't here when they bought that land in Arlington Heights, but in some ways that actually gave them more leverage against the city, and it definitely took a new team president and a new mayor and some of those people to change out to get this relationship going once again. But that almost created more leverage for the Bears now on the lakefront to get what they need from the government, if they can get it. And maybe their overall cost will be lower. Of course, the downside will be that they're not going to own the stadium, and who's going to be the team president in 20 years? Who's going to be the mayor in 20 years? What's the shape of that stadium going to be like? And I just hope that we're not having that same type of conversation, 2 decades from now.
Right. Well, listen,
Good point.
whoever the city elects as mayor, I would hope down the line would not want to immediately pick a fight with the Bears on a stadium that's already built when you have a great partnership and you're benefiting from it. But okay, we can pivot off it. Matt Eberflus speaking today as well. Adam, what was, you were there obviously, so what were the highlights from the Flus in your mind? We have a bunch of clips here, some that I'm super interested in playing, but I'm curious what stood out for you.
Well, first of all, I have a present for Greg.
Uh-oh.
Greg, I want you to get out your phone, and I want you to open
He
your
actually
calendar.
Hoge, breaking news, Hoge wants me to get on my phone during the show.
Because I want you to get your calendar out, because I'm excited to inform you that July 17th is report day for rookies.
Okay.
July 19th is report day for veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And the first Bears practice at training camp is July 20th.
Wow. First practice July 20th. My 11-year wedding anniversary. Jenny's going to be so excited.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So here's another combo. Let's have some fun for a minute here, since that's so your wedding anniversary is the first day of training camp. That's a problem. Here's what's also a problem. If I got to bring this tweet back up. So
Which is way earlier than last year.
Well, because here's why. The Bears are going to be in the Hall of Fame game. So everything is starting a week early. The Bears are going to have mini camp a week earlier in June to cut the veterans loose so they can still have the same time. However, they're going to keep the rookies there for those extra OTA practices so the rookies don't miss out on those practices. So they're going to Flus is getting creative here, mixing and matching up the schedule this year to accommodate this Hall of Fame game. So the Bears are going to have 4 preseason games. They're going to play the Texans on August 1st in Canton. It's more opportunity for Caleb Williams to get more reps at the quarterback spot going into the season, depending on how you look at it. But you now have this problem with your anniversary being the first practice of camp. The NFL has been so kind to give us now 2 games on Christmas Day. So our friend Field Yates tweeting that starting Christmas Day, we'll have this week-long football stretch. NFL on the 25th, 26th, 28th, 29th, December 30th, college football quarterfinals on New Year's Eve, and then college football quarterfinals on New Year's Day, to which Robert Mays responded, "People are getting divorced." And I got to be honest, if the holidays weren't stressful enough, I mean, I love football as much as everyone. You guys know this, but this might be tough.
I just texted my wife, Jenny. First day of training camp on July 20th. Happy anniversary. Love you.
Oh, poor Jenny.
I'm coughing, I can't speak, and I'm uncomfortable. That's funny. That's love, baby. That's love.
You got to let us know when she replies.
She'll be thrilled.
Or if she does.
She's thrilled. I can already tell.
Yeah, I know that wasn't where we were going to start. But the Hall of Fame game, we kind of knew this was coming. It is official. That's cool.
Very cool.
And, in general, I mean, look at this. The Bears are looking at having the biggest superstar rookie join the team. They're going to be they're already the darling of the offseason. They're already going to be the biggest focus of the NFL draft with their 2 top 10 picks and Caleb Williams. They're going to be in the Hall of Fame game, and they're going to London. And on top of it, it wouldn't surprise me if they max out on their primetime games this year. In fact, it would surprise me if they don't max out on their primetime games. They're going to be in the spotlight. Maybe they're a team that gets put on Christmas Day, which is a Wednesday, by the way. So it's that part of this it's going to come with some very real obstacles in terms of attention and people getting pulled in different directions. But it's also very exciting at the same time, the spotlight that's going to be on the Chicago Bears and hopefully this show a little bit too. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we're going to be there covering it every step along the way.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun year. A lot of great events that will be dialed into here at CHGO Bears. And make sure you're dialing into Circa Sportsbook, tight money line splits, low hold models. Games strive to be a -110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sports books, which may use a -115 or -120 split. Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets, especially compared to other books. Very transparent. Circa Sports does not limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. I encourage all bettors to download and explore all sports betting apps available and go see for yourself. Compare the lines from each sportsbook. Nobody better than Circa Sportsbook, especially with their customer service. They're second to none. Real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other books who use chatbots. All aspects of the app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sports book at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, including our NFL draft party coming up in 30 days, which we'll talk about here later on. Watch parties and tailgates. So if you or someone you may know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyourellywinning.com.
Circa Sports goes really well, you guys, with some Miller Lite. And the NFL draft is coming up, like Greg just alluded to. And what are the Bears going to do? It's the question on everyone's mind. I think a lot of people have some answers to that question. But it's anyone's guess, and we've seen some wild selections over the years, but there's one selection that every football fan can share, and that's an ice-cold Miller Lite. When I was watching Caitlin Clark take down West Virginia last night, so I had a Miller Lite right by my side, and Miller Lite knows that beer lovers want their light beer to taste like beer. That's why they brew a light beer that's light on calories, not taste. But because what's the point of having a beer if you can't taste it? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Till kickoff comes around again, enjoy the beer that tastes like the season. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere, and anywhere that sells beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
All right, Nick. All right, Greg. I take offense to everybody who's calling me that I need a catheter and that I'm old and that was a pee break. I was not a pee break. That was a cough situation that needed to be taken care of. I sound so much better. I feel better. I'm ready for a strong finish. Hoge, can we play Matt Eberflus's meeting with Caleb Williams? This is one of the more adorable moments that I've ever had in Bears quarterback coach history time. So this was the Flus earlier today talking about the first time that he and Caleb got to spend some real quality time together. Let's hear it, Steven.
Great. It was great. The biggest takeaway is that you can see the arm talent on the film and you can see it there in person. And that was the biggest takeaway. What I loved to see was that the interaction with the other players. You can see that, and we talked to every person that was on that team. At the Senior Bowl, we interviewed them. We interviewed them at the pro day. We talked to those guys at the dinner, and you can certainly see that those players love him and respect him and what he's brought to that program.
Okay, so we're actually going to get a double Flus because that was about love and teammates and the dinner. But this was actually the Flus on his. He had some private time with Caleb that I guess we're queuing up here. Do we get? Yeah, we're good. All right. This
you love this.
I do.
I
don't know if anybody has seen the TV show that's in my demo. The name of the show is Silver Spoons. With a Ricky Schroeder who's got a little sideways in his life. But aside from that,
was that one of those silent films that they used to make in your day?
Yes, that's correct, Hoge. It was a silent film, but it had a great theme song. Here we are, face to face, a couple of silver spoons. And I literally was watching this clip this morning that you sent in, and I was in my bed singing, here we are, Flus and Caleb, a couple of Chicago Bears. Just listen to this. This is so sweet, these two. The bond, the love, the build. Do we have it, Stephen? Are we good? We're almost there. We're almost there.
The anticipation.
The anticipation is huge. There's something building here that I believe in, that the Flus believes in, that Hoge believes in, that Greg believes in, that Bears fans that wanted Justin to the end of the earth perhaps are even starting to believe in, and we're not going to have this clip.
It's not working.
Oh,
Can I just tell you what he said?
Sure, go ahead.
All right.
That's better than what we got, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it is better than the last 2 minutes of the show. Basically last week in LA, Matt Eberflus had an hour and 20 minutes alone with Caleb. So that the big day that they spent, that the Bears got access to Caleb exclusively, part of that time Flus spent with just Caleb. Now, we also learned today that he does this with every newcomer and every free agent signing. He spends about 45 minutes with them. And the whole point is just to get to know them. This isn't like grilling them on ball as much as it is, understanding their backgrounds, where they came from, important things in their lives, things like that. One of the big takeaways that Matt Eberflus said in the clip that you were trying to play was that his parents, his mom and dad, really, really love Caleb, and he's got a great support system. So, yeah, I mean, why do you think this is funny?
Because it's weird. Because it's weird. It's weird. Everybody I talk to loves him. His parents love him. It's like Bubby when the first kid's getting married or something. I don't know. You
can't have this both ways. You cannot complain about the players who don't have a good support system, or he was a bust. They didn't do their homework because it turns out he doesn't really love football. Oh, it turns out his teammates don't really like him. We can't have this whole fake conversation about how big of a problem Carl Williams is and then dismiss the idea that the Bears are actually totally comfortable with the entire situation. This 100% matters. It's the most important pick this franchise has ever made, arguably, and they got to get it right. So I love hearing this stuff. I love the vetting process, and it's certainly not going to be funny if they weren't doing any of this stuff and they just decided that they loved Mitch Trubisky's Toyota Corolla and they drafted him for that.
So hold on a second, Hoge. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Of course they should be doing all their due diligence. And you just catapulted. I mean, calmed your argument by bringing up the Trubisky thing. Oh, he drove a Toyota. It was amazing. And then we made none of that matters. What matters is that he's a good quarterback. And give me the real stuff here, just to say, hey man, yeah, we put him through some recall stuff, and he nailed it. The guy, he's on the money like that. I would love to hear that. His parents love him, and all his friends love him, and everybody I talk to loves him. I mean, am I the only one that thinks this is corny? No one's having these reactions other than me. I'm like, it's getting a little weird. It's getting a little weird.
Just pretend like they're talking about Tyson Bagent and his parents. Now, how does it sound?
It would never be like that with Bagent's life. That dude, his dad's insane, and he's an ass kicker, and he's going to push, and he's going to arm wrestle you to the ground. It's cute, it's adorable. I think it's great. There's nothing ultimately at the end of the day that's wrong with it, but I just think it's a little weird.
You done?
Yeah, I guess I am. Well, do we just lose the?
We either lost him or he got tired of it. I'm not really sure. Yeah, we did lose him.
He left.
He left.
Oh, he's coming back.
He's coming back. He wants some more.
And we don't blame him.
Yeah. We're back.
Okay.
We don't blame him for leaving.
No,
we don't blame you for leaving, Hoge. We all left in our own minds.
And now we can't hear him.
I don't think he's talking.
Is
oh,
Adam
yeah,
he's talking.
It says you've muted yourself, Adam.
Unmute.
We love technology because it's great.
All right, we're not hearing it. We'll get that figured
Should
out.
we? I mean, we have a bunch of clips here that we can play. I mean,
Yeah, we'll play some clips while we effort Hoge back in.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting, you guys. We've always heard about Matt Eberflus talking about the 3-tech position, and just wanting to solidify that kind of that spot for this Bears defense. Eberflus was actually asked about the edge rusher position, but I just want you to hear his answer and what he had to say if the Bears do need more depth there.
Absolutely, it can happen during or after, and it's important that we get that piece, because you have to have the 1-2 punch, and it can be inside as well. You look at who affects the quarterback the most. Well, I would also argue that the inside piece is also something that we should be looking at, and it's important that we do that. It's direct line to the quarterback. When they max protect, that's a soft spot in the protection. So we're looking at all pass rushers. It can be inside, outside, all along the line. So we're having an open mind in that regard.
So you hear that there from Eberflus. He's asked specifically about needing another edge rusher, but through his answer goes into the interior because of what that position again means. It's the closest way, the fastest way to get pressure on the quarterback. So he did acknowledge that yes, it'd be great to get a 1-2 punch at the edge rusher position. But still, there is that emphasis to address the interior position, to get a guy there. And obviously, we know Eberflus loves his 3-tech. It's the engine that runs this defense. So I found that interesting that he brought that up on himself when asked about specifically the edge rusher position.
Oh, you back with us?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yes. And your dad wrote in that I love Adam, which now that is the love I find beautiful. That's
amazing.
It's funny. You think it's funny that my dad loves me?
No, I think it's lovely.
You know what? You need more love. I love you.
I love Mark.
You need some love.
I was doing like, why is this a trigger for me? And I'm like, did I not get enough love for my parents?
100%.
Is that what's going on?
That's
here?
it.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, a 98-year-old Papa Freddy said the nicest things ever to me at breakfast on Sunday. So it was like super sweet. So I don't know if that's it, but it could be it. I mean, it's possible. But I think Papa Hoge gets the bit here. I love Adam. How ridiculous! Caleb Williams' parents, they love him. So do his teammates. So does everybody that we've ever taught. Hey man, we got it. We are sold. We are excited. We are.
That's not always the case, though, Carmen. I think my mom probably hated me the first 25 years of my life, so I don't blame her for that matter.
This is why I hate Carm. Okay, though. Because first of all, Flus hasn't talked about Caleb Williams yet. This is the first time we get to talk to the head coach of the Chicago Bears about the guy who he's going to draft. Most teams, they probably would avoid the subject. Oh, we don't know who we're taking. We don't know who we're taking. Credit to the Bears. They come down here. Ryan Poles is talking about it. Matt Eberflus is talking about it. Kevin Warren's talking about it. George McCaskey's talking about it. Everyone's talking about it, which they don't have to do. Flus goes out of his way to share a little anecdote from their private meeting, and Carm's picking it apart, which is why no one wants to talk to the media, because of people like you that do that all the time.
No. You take that back.
Nope.
Flus and I have a great relationship.
That's true.
Flus, when I talk to the Flus, he looks at me, I look at him. We have a strong Carm Flus bond that you are not going to break by saying that I'm trying to tear down the Flus. I'm not tearing anybody down. I just, he could be a little bit of a corny Flus. He can be.
He can.
And then you could be.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Corn Flus.
That was the old Flus. This is now what I'm calling next gen Flus with the look. The corniness is gone.
Well, that was making its way through the chat too. Like literally, is that even our head coach? How does he look this good? What the hell happened? Now he even went further today with that the hardcore flip going on.
It goes to Funk man, Lawrence Funk. I used to actually get my hair cut by him, so I get it. I see why the Flus looks the way he does. The whole dress and dressing up and the haircut. I get it.
Braggs, you want to relay what you were able to do your detective work on the Flus and what's going to happen at 9?
Yeah, well, he was talking with Tom Pelissero, doing a little side interview, and something that stood out to me in this 2-minute clip they shared on Twitter was, at the end, I thought it was a little bit of a slip. He said, we've built the foundation and we're excited to get, a blue chip, a blue player at 1 and 9. And, doing the Carm, pick through it and, try to decipher what he meant there. I kind of felt like, so we're not trading down. We're taking blue players, because that certainly stood out to me.
Yeah, that's it. That's interesting. Because, for those that don't know, blue is like when they color code, their scouting, and not just in the draft, but also, when they look at their own roster every year, blue is the blue chip, right? It's the blue chip players. It's the guys you're willing to spend, your most money on. And that is, we're all looking into it. I think at the end of the day, though, they don't know right now how the top 8's going to fall. Right. And they're going to have plans. Nothing's set in stone at all in that regard. You have teams like the Broncos yesterday. Sean Payton was openly talking about the idea of trading up. So that's something to file away for, a possible trade partner with the Bears. If they want to move back 3 spots to 12, pick up more draft capital. But I do think that one thing we learned from Ryan Poles yesterday is, if there is a scenario in which they do pick at 1 and 9 and they don't trade back and they don't add any more draft picks, I do firmly believe that they're comfortable with that this year. It's not great that they only have 4 picks, but given the situation with this not being a deep draft and so many players that went back to school, this would be the year to have that happen. And on top of that, I'd have to double check this, but I believe the number of picks the Bears, we can look this up. Might be 24 picks that the Bears have made over the last 3 years. If they only keep 4, I believe the number comes out to like 22 or 24 draft picks in 3 years, which is still higher than 7 per year, which is what you start with. So over the 3 years that Ryan Poles has been drafting, then, even if they only make 4 picks this year, they're still ahead of the game. They've still made more picks than you originally start with. And I do think that that's an interesting point to keep in mind.
Yeah, and Poles underlined that too. So I think everything you said is spot on right there. That they're not going to force a trade down, but if somebody wants to come up and whoever they wanted to take at 9 is not there, then maybe they would do it. Hey, quickly, are you in the market for a new vehicle? Call up my guy, Ray Scarpelli. But look, they've got everything you need with our fine partner, Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Fox Lake. They are celebrating the Jeep Celebration event all month long for you Jeep lovers out there. You know what that means? You're about to rave about their savings on a wide selection of inventory. Limited time, you can lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo Altitude for $439 a month for 39 months. If that Grand Cherokee isn't big enough for you, check out the third row. A lot of people love the third row with the tons of the kids. And lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited L for $479 a month for 39 months, so $40 more. Get that third row. At Ray CDJR, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicago's largest inventories. That's an all, by the way, just for listening. You do get that free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center or mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr/service. You got to schedule it, though, by April the 1st. So you're in the market for a new vehicle, you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram because they're the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake for more information. Visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com. Serving the community since 1963.
That's right. I want to tell everybody right now is as good a time as ever to become a diehard here at CHGO Sports and with CHGO Bears. Get a free shirt right out the gate. Got a bunch of new merch dropping here for the baseball season. Had our Chicago collection drop just a few weeks ago, so merch just continues to fly in. Some really cool designs that our guys out in Denver have been putting out for us. We appreciate them. So you also get exclusive content access to things like Adam Hoge's newsletter, which comes out weekly, our Bears 100 draft guide, which gets you ready for the NFL draft, which is 30 days away. And Adam and Nick and everybody here does a great job of kind of building that database that's specific to the Bears' needs. So it really dials you in on what the Bears, board might look like as well. And so those are a lot of different advantages. And then you get discounts on events, including our NFL draft party here coming up 30 days from now at Joe's on Weed Street, presented by Circus Sports and Casa Azul. We'll be there the first night, Thursday night, for the first round. We'll be live the whole time, just like last year. We had a great time at Joe's on Weed Street. We're going to run it back again. After party Thursday night with DJ Trey Tunes. And then on night 2, Friday night, April 26th, have a chance to meet Gary Fensick, take a picture, get an autograph. We'll be covering the second and third round live, presented by the Collectors Cave, bringing in Gary. We appreciate the Collectors Cave support. And then another after party on Friday night with Dalton, Carm, and the Sheriffs. Going to be live on stage, so it's going to be a great time. So go to allchgo.com/events. If you become a diehard, you get a discount on that event. And either way, a bunch of different ticket packages to come on out to Joe's and have some fun with us.
Yeah, I've been talking with Dalton, and we're building a bond. So
you've been talking with Dalton?
Yeah, he's fired up about the new song today with Silver Spoon.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Seeing the talent.
Yeah, no, he did ask for mic check, audio check, sound check from me, and I'm working on that. But he did watch the Bajan song, and he absolutely loved it. So our bond is real.
Who wouldn't?
That's true.
Who wouldn't? Hey, Hoge, one thing that stuck out for me today. Yes, go ahead.
I was raising my hand on who wouldn't.
Oh, I see. Yeah, thank you. That's unfortunate. That's on you. Hey, can we play the running back quote, Steven, that he talks about DeAndre Swift and that signing? I thought it was pretty interesting. He kind of threw Khalil Herbert under the bus. Yes, my guys are not that strong.
Damn. Actually, no, I might be more blind than you. Sorry.
Thank you. Do we have
Loose on DeAndre Swift?
Yes.
I don't need glasses. I
Congratulations.
just see perfectly.
You need other things. Like a diaper. All right.
A diaper from the guy that pisses his pants every day on this show. A diaper.
Toss to the clip.
You need the diaper.
I'm good. Thank you. Sometimes I do. If we're gonna,
Short diapers would be a great sponsor for the show.
It would be a good sponsor. DeAndre Swift, the Flus, with a little bit of a shot at the running back room here a little bit. Let's hear from Eberflus one more time. Thank you.
Yeah, we just felt that we wanted a home run hitter there, and I think DeAndre brings that, and we wanted a weapon back. A guy that could be a weapon out of the backfield. I think he had 49 catches last year, 50, close to that, and he brings that. He's got tremendous speed. You can feel that when he's running the football, but you can definitely feel that when he's a pass catcher. So I know that in situational football, it's very difficult to be able to have the two guys outside covered, tight end or two tight ends covered, and then you got another situation that you have with a weapon back inside. So that was critical for us to be able to acquire him.
Home run hitter. That's gonna be heard in that locker room a little bit. I'm sure Khalil Herbert will hear that.
I don't think so. I think that he's a different running back. I think we've talked about this. All Flus is saying there is that he's a different type of running back and something that they didn't have in that room last year, which I don't think is all that controversial. I think it's true. I still think, but look, they paid him. This shouldn't be surprising. They paid him like a number one running back. I mean, he's the 7th highest paid running back in the league, I believe, after the contract they gave him. So, money talks in this league, even more so than what the coaches actually say coming out of their mouth. So this shouldn't be surprising. They paid DeAndre Swift to be the guy. I think Khalil Herbert goes to RB2. I think I actually still really like Roschon Johnson as well. And that's something to keep in mind. I'm curious to see what his role looks like in a more crowded backfield now. And obviously Deontay Foreman moved on, I believe, to the Browns. Travis Homer will still be around for special teams. So that's going to be what the running back room looks like now.
You know, as we're kind of talking about newcomers on this team, Eberflus was also asked about Keenan Allen. And I know we have a couple of clips to play from him on what, this new addition to the wide receiver room can do for the Bears offense.
It's lagging. I'm working on it.
He tells a fun story, too, about Keenan, which that was a fun moment in the Flus. The Flus's bond with Keenan.
It's already starting.
I loved it.
I got it.
Here we go.
We'll go back to back on these.
His situational excellence. He's been great in situations. When you got to have a play, and he can make that play. He's been great on third down, great in 2 minute, great in critical situations. He's what a discipline and just a master at a route runner. And he has the ability to be open and stay open, with his body. So he understands how to do that. Yeah, I saw Keenan at the pro day, and I turned around and I went and visited with him. And I said, "How you doing?" And he said, "I was trying to go incognito." I said, "You're in Bears gear. You're in Bears gear, and you got your Keenan Allen beard sticking out." I said, "I don't know if you're pulling that off right now, but no, it was great to see him, and it was great to visit with him a little bit more too. And talk to him about just about the whole process, his process, and it was really good to see him. I thought it was really cool that he showed up."
Having a good time, Flus. Jeremy Fowler walking on up, smiling Lou Canellis. I've never seen Lou Canellis smile to that level. He was loving it too. Everybody was having a great time. This is a hootenanny you were at today, Hoge.
Yeah, I don't know. You got any problems with that story that he told there? Or are we good with that one?
I loved that one. It was authentic. It was real. Okay. He told a joke.
Yeah,
it was perfect. I loved it.
We'll have to find out though if Keenan Allen's parents love him. I guess.
Exactly. He didn't go in any Keenan Allen's history. It was just in the moment, right there. It was beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. That was a little funny anecdote. Like you're trying to go incognito, you're head to toe in Bears gear. Yeah. Keenan Allen. The funny exchange on Keenan Allen, I would say, is actually with George McCaskey, because we found out yesterday from Ryan Poles that this thing came together very fast. I talked about that on yesterday's show. They were looking at other wide receivers, and all of a sudden they found out that Keenan Allen was available via trade, and they moved very quickly. But $23 million in cash is not nothing. The cap space is one thing, but you still got to pay the guy $23 million in actual cash, and he was due a $5 million roster bonus, I believe, immediately. So I think it was Pat Finley asked George, so how was that conversation when they said, "Hey, we're going to trade for Keenan Allen, but we need $23 million from you. You got that laying around?" And George handled that pretty well. He was like, "Yeah, Ryan didn't ask me for the money. He just said he needed the money." Yeah. So, those are types of real that's actually a real life example of where ownership gets involved in this type of stuff. Because just because you have the cap space doesn't always mean that the cash flow is just sitting on George McCaskey's desk just to be able to hand out to players as they walk in the door. And I thought that was a funny example.
That's why George is still driving a car that's got 200,000 miles on it. He boasts about it. He's making sure that money's where it needs to be. Thank you, George. We appreciate it. By the way, we didn't. What was the highlights of the George McCaskey extravaganza?
Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap up with a couple things here for you, and then I'll let you guys finish the show. But there's two George McCaskey things. One is that he was in the quarterback meetings at the combine. He was in the Caleb Williams meeting, and I asked him, "You ask a question in those meetings?" And he just looked at me and he goes, "Absolutely not." He just sits there like a fly on the wall and observes. And he usually does this with select meetings. He's not in all of them, but this isn't just an exclusive to this year or exclusive to Caleb Williams. He said he was in the quarterback meetings this year, and then some other select prospects. So, and that's somewhat normal for George McCaskey. I just don't know that we always knew that. He did say about the meeting with Caleb Williams. He said the thing that impressed me is I think it was at 10:40 at night, that meeting. He was remarkably gregarious, engaged, and friendly. When they got down to football, he was right in it. And again, I think that's the same type of deal as like, well, yeah, it's a job interview. You better be ready to go at 10:40 at night. Like, should we be surprised by the answer? But the reality is not all those prospects are. I mean, the combine is very grueling for the actual players involved for different reasons than four of us being out late at night in Indianapolis. And so it sounds like Caleb Williams made a positive impression in that meeting too. That did include Kevin Warren and George McCaskey, as well as everyone else, that is typically involved in these draft decisions. The other thing from George, obviously no surprise, but we do have to cover this every year. The team's stance on Hard Knocks, Greg, has not changed. My follow-up question, though, is, when Kevin Warren was asked about it today, he gave more of a diplomatic answer, more of the politically correct, like sort of sidestepping it, but also making it clear that probably not okay to be on Hard Knocks. George is always like immediately making jokes. He was like, yeah, they're considering some other teams and we welcome those other teams to be on Hard Knocks, instead of us. So I followed up and I was like, just to be clear, like, are you and Kevin Warren on the same page when it comes to Hard Knocks? And he was like, yes, we are aligned on Hard Knocks.
We have a super chat here and a little wager being thrown down by our insider at CHGO, Gary Ross. And he says, George cannot say $5 super chat from Gary. George cannot say publicly that they will be on Hard Knocks. We'll do a lunch bet with anyone at CHGO that it is still happening, including Hoge. So you have a chance here, Hoge, to get a lunch off Gary. He didn't say what place either. You could take him somewhere, make him go somewhere expensive too. So this is on the table.
Gary, I'll make the bet with you if I get an Uber Eats delivered right to this chair.
I'm starving right now.
I'll bet.
I haven't had breakfast or lunch right now, and it's coming on 3:00 Eastern. My day started with running into George McCaskey at 6:30 in the morning. He was coming back from some type of run or workout in the hotel, ready to go. So for staying up at 10:40 at night with Caleb Williams in those combine meetings, pretty impressive. I'm not making a bet with Gary on this. I think if there was ever a time for the Bears to be on Hard Knocks, this is the year. But I do find it interesting that the team is continuing to push back on the idea. There was, I think it was made official. The other part of this too that's very relevant is they're good. I believe the in-season Hard Knocks they announced today is going to be a whole division, not just one team, which means a total of 5 teams this season are going to be on Hard Knocks, not just 2. If it were up to me, I'd probably rather be on the training camp Hard Knocks than the in-season Hard Knocks. Seems like it would be if you're worried about distractions, I feel like this distraction would be greater in-season than just during training camp. So I don't know. Is Gary clarifying that? Is he claiming it's definitely training camp Hard Knocks versus in-season Hard Knocks? That's an important clarification.
That's what Gary's been calling a shot for a while now, that it's going to be at training camp, and I trust my guy Gary.
I mean, I like taking money off of Gary. He already owes me $20. I'll double down that somehow Kevin Warren and company, because he's, Gary's throwing down the hammer. Everyone's scared. I'm not scared. Right here, lunch. I'll bet it. Not just for the just for the entertainment.
I'm
more
not
than anything
scared.
Else.
I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting him either. I don't want to. Why would I bet on something that I don't believe?
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah, I've got no belief here. I just think that this is like the Bears don't want to do it. I'll bet that the Bears get what they want. And then the other thing that I've brought up before is just like the other big thing that they've been kind of
resisting for a long time that eventually they knew they were going to have to give in on once they went to a 17-game schedule was the idea of having a home game overseas. And that's happening this year too. So it just seems kind of crazy that they might have to do Hard Knocks and give up that home game overseas in the same season. And they got to do the Hall of Fame game, but that's probably something they actually wanted to do. It's going to be a year, man. It's going to be a season for the Bears. They're going to be in the spotlight. And again, if there was ever a year where the Bears are on Hard Knocks, I would want it to be this one. It's going to be fun.
You know, I looked at it as an opportunity for me to be on HBO in the summer, which was important to me. But if you go to the HBO app here right now, you can actually see my question to Matt Painter on there. So not half bad. I'm already on
Greg.
HBO.
Is that the one about him being tall? And
it's on HBO.
That's big.
So
time.
I'm already there. Check.
That was a good question.
Carm, has there ever been a I guess in this situation we're calling Greg a media member. Has there ever been, can you recall in the history of Chicago media, anyone like a Chet Kopic, a Les Grobstein?
Nobody.
Has anybody ever taken like a victory lap every time they ask a question? Every time, not just like they never. It's like any time they ask a question.
Well, I mean, I can't help it because my questions are so great. I can't help it.
Was that Sunday? So we're going on 48 hours now.
It's on HBO. That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. You get a question on HBO, Hoge. You won't because you suck.
Do you first of all, when you get a YouTube clip of you going viral with LeBron and you make Sports Center, and when you get to that level, then you can start talking.
Right.
Just whenever you get there, let me know.
My question was on Sports Center, but go ahead.
My video's on Sports Center.
You didn't lead Sports Center like Carm led Sports Center. I'm Carm greater than Braggs, Carm greater than Braggs, Carm greater than all. All right, Hoge, you can leave us now. I think we'll wrap it up here. Actually, I have two things for you. Number one, would you like to wish Poppy a happy birthday? She's 3 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy birthday to Poppy.
Will you sing happy birthday to Poppy?
No, it's a dog.
That's adorable.
But
come on. This is an upper level animal here. Look at that thing.
I'll sing happy. Oh yeah. It was Mark Potash's birthday yesterday.
Was it really? Happy birthday to Potash. Poppy greater than Potash. We all know this, but that's fine. Don't be
Poppy. Nah.
I mean, better athlete than Potash. Look at that. You think Potash could work himself into a lather the way Poppy did right there? Come on.
I mean, Potty's got the better Twitter account though.
Yeah. I mean, there's just that is
adorable.
That is a great 3-year-old animal out there. And the other. Excuse me, I am really having trouble today. I don't know what's going on with me. I hope it's not that I'll be saying goodbye to the show in life anytime sooner because this cough just won't go away. But regardless of that, Hoge, serious question, actually for everybody. Are you guys happy that the NFL is playing on Christmas Day on a Wednesday, that they're having teams move up from, they're going to play Sunday to Saturday to Wednesday to week 17 to into the playoffs, the whole thing?
Yep, you're right.
Does anybody want, like, I was totally fine with not playing on a Wednesday for Christmas Day, but we all said that if we go back and check the clips that they're going to do this. They're definitely doing this, and now they're doing this.
Yeah, and I think Roger was on record last year saying they're not going to do that. And then, it worked. We're going Black Friday. We're taking over Christmas Day from the NBA. They're never going to stop this machine. You know, they got an opportunity to get more money, squeeze more dollars. I saw that Peacock is going to have the Brazil game. So that's another addition to the calendar. So now it's not just Thursday night kickoff. There's going to be the usual Thursday night game to kick off the season. And then Friday, the Eagles are playing. I forget who they're playing. I don't know if they've announced it yet, but they're playing in Brazil. And that game's going to be on Peacock. So just like that playoff game, you had to subscribe to that. You got the Amazon Prime Friday game.
Per Matt Schneidman of he covers the Packers for The Athletic. Yeah, he said Packers president Mark Murphy tells local reporters the NFL is deciding between the Packers and Browns to play the Eagles in Brazil.
Wow. There you go.
I'm exhausted. I enjoyed the NBA.
Send the Packers to Brazil.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
Don't let them come back. The Brazil flag is already green and gold.
Yep, let them stay there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like the NFL literally wants to every single day of the week during the season, they want to have their day. I mean, now you're doing this the Wednesday, Christmas Day, and look, for the players that have to play on that and the people that have to cover the games, like they get away from their families, but it is what it is. Like the NFL's going to make money. People are going to be at home. Mark's going to make it through this, and it's just like they're going to always find different ways to maximize their audience. Christmas Day, when a lot of people are at home, off with their families, it's a great opportunity for them.
It's the life we've chosen. All right, Ho, get out of here and go get some food. We'll see you tomorrow back in studio.
All right, guys. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Been a fun couple of days here in Orlando, and I actually have a ton left over. So we'll be back at it tomorrow noon back in Chicago with even more news and notes. We never talked about the kickoff thing today, so we can get a little bit more of that tomorrow because Devin Esther ended up having an impact on it. So a lot of good stuff. Enjoy the rest of the show, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.
Travel safe. Hoge back in studio tomorrow. We definitely can get in the kickoff rule tomorrow. We're not going to do that today. It's a great idea. I like it.
Yeah, owners meeting recap show tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, let's get some super chats in here to all our fine supporters today. Thank you so much, every single one of you. James Campbell, $1.99. Jerzon Newton or Byron Murphy at 9.
It's at 3 Tech. I get it. I don't know if I take him at 9, but it would be awesome to get.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Honestly, any one of those guys.
Trade down.
Yeah, you're going to trade down.
2 players, have one of those guys be it. I could see that going on. Thank you, James. Appreciate it. Next up is Football CF Candy.
$1.99.
Missed you, Football CF Candy. Thoughts on the Bears with a total of 8.5. Edge, center, offensive tackle. I'm there.
They won 7 last year.
I'm taking the over.
Same. I'm taking the over right now.
Taking the over. Wow.
I am.
You're all in.
I am.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think Hoge made a good point when we were at Circa last week for our live show at the Sportsbook, which was a lot of fun in Waukegan. Make sure you go check that out if you haven't here in the second weekend of March Madness. But I thought he made a good point when it comes to us all just assuming that these coaches are going to have this offense ready to go and the development of the quarterback will be correct. I mean, I think we're all optimistic that will work out. But that is a big piece of the pie while we talk about personnel and who they're going to draft at 9 and how this is all going to line up. The key to the over on the 8.5 is how fast this coaching staff offensively can get them in gear. Because it's not an easy task. These players haven't received a playbook. The quarterback isn't on the team yet. So he's
on the team.
I understand, but has he received a playbook yet?
No.
Has Cole Kmet yet? I mean, So we get to mini camp, training camp. It's going to be a quick turnaround with the limited amount of reps they're allowed to do per day. Like Cole was saying, they can't even run routes at House Hall right now.
Do you believe in Caleb?
Yeah, I do believe in Caleb.
Do you believe in Shane?
I don't know what to think of the offensive coaching staff yet until I see it. I'm always optimistic about. I was optimistic about Luke Getsy. I was optimistic about Matt Nagy. We've been down this road so many times. I think it's fair to be like a little wait and see approach to make sure they do this correctly.
But they never had the quarterback, so hopefully things can change and that offense coordinator can maximize the talent out of rookie number 1 overall pick.
I agree.
mean, sure. I probably should wait and let everything settle in. The dude turned Geno Smith into Geno God. I think we're going to be okay.
Geno God.
Craig Leach, $20. Happy Tuesday, excuse me. Had Poppy on the mind. Happy Tuesday to all. Let's go CHGO. Thanks so much, Craig. We appreciate
He's
that.
He's been dropping $20 super chats pretty much every show. I saw this was his 20th super chat overall, so thank you very much, Craig.
Appreciate that, Craig.
You're the man, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
We have Don T with a $10 super chat here. You guys will be bagging on Flus when they start 1-3 and get beat by the Pack again. Should have gone after Harbaugh.
Look, hey, Don T, you're not wrong. If they do start 1-3, if that happens,
I'll be firing him again. I fired Matt Eberflus 4 times last year, and I will fire him again if they start 1-3. But I'm not completely against what you said. I mean, Mina Kimes even said it on Friday that she was skeptical of the decision to bring him back, and I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't either. When the season ended, I was all for get rid of Flus, bringing in Harbaugh. Maybe that wasn't realistic because the amount of money he was going to command and competing with other teams that wanted Harbaugh, but I'm not completely against you. I think Matt Eberflus has a lot to prove here this year, and, hearing him today, I know he's feeling himself and the team that's coming, and he should, and I'm excited, and I'm going to be optimistic about the team, but I think the big challenge for Matt Eberflus this year is going to be he's calling defensive plays. So he's really focusing a lot of his energy on one side of the ball. You bring in this whole new offensive coaching staff, and to me, this is like two separate entities of coaching staffs on each side, and they're handling one side and you're handling the other. And as long as they're winning, I think no one's going to have an issue with that hierarchy and how that works. But if they aren't winning, then you're going to start hearing about how, there's negligence on one side of the ball from a defensive-minded coach.
They got to each pull their weight. That's all I'll say.
Mad Mike, 1999. Thank you, Mad Mike. Still a little upset about the trade. If Caleb Williams is drafted, he has 1 year to prove it. In order for me to stay a fan, he has to win the division and make the playoffs. His attitude has to change as well. Mad Mike, you are following your moniker of Mad Mike.
Yeah, Sad Mike.
You need to chill out.
Mike,
It's kind of sad, Mike.
High expectations, Mike. But I get it. He has a lot to prove, but I think he should get a little bit more of a grace period than one season as a rookie.
Peeps are still in their feelings. I talked to my guy Bob last night out at the UC. He was absolutely straight miserable that the Bears traded Justin and was
Get it, yeah.
and a month later, however long it's been, it feels like 3 months at this point. It's been like 3 days. I'm like, are you good? No, he ain't good.
I had a similar situation conversation earlier this morning. My guy Justin at Bears Fit, huge Justin Fields fan, and still questioning why they made the trade and got this team assembled, and now Justin gets shipped off to Pittsburgh. But I get it.
Well, and Caleb is unapologetically charismatic. And like last night he's at the USC women's basketball game and he's doing a little dance with his pink phone. And for people that like Mad Mike that are like his attitude he's going to drive those people insane. I think once he starts winning games, everyone will come around to it. But like that little stuff that for some fans
he was also clapping back at somebody on
Twitter.
Yeah,
he's going at somebody from Barstool today. Caleb Williams is on Twitter about it. So he's unapologetic. And I like that about Caleb, but there's going to be people that don't like Caleb.
Oh, no doubt.
Like until he starts winning games that are going to that stuff is going to drive him insane.
No doubt. We have Chris Bagaro with a $4.99 super chat. Has everyone seen the March Madness for Bears media? I thought it was hilarious. Yes, we are all in it. Do you know that, Mark, that you're in this March Madness Twitter contest thingy?
I didn't do it, Nick, because
No, you're in it. Like, you're already in it.
That.
Yes, we are all in it. And, if you want to support our CHGO Bears panel here, we are all in it. Greg, you have an 81% lead on Chris Emma right now. Mark, we got to get those votes up to beat the Bears blog, 75% to 25%.
I have 25%.
You have 25%. You're a seventh seed. You're
who
a
are you
seventh
going
seed.
up against?
I'm going up against.
No, who's Carm going up?
He's going up against the Bears blog.
Yeah, no shot.
Two seed versus 7th seed, and then I am actually down 2 to Robert Schmitz.
How's that one going?
4 seed, 5 seed, 64% for Robert Schmitz to 36. So we need to get the votes
pump up.
Well, we got.
And Will DeWitt's.
You're telling me that I'm losing to the Bears blog 3-1? Who'd you vote for?
I voted for you.
No, brag.
Oh,
I voted for you. We're a team.
I don't believe you voted for me.
You don't believe me?
Oh, and Adam Hoge's in this. Oh, he's got a 54% lead on Mikey Cuz, 46. So
who's the
where
Bears
can people
blog?
go to vote on this?
Where are they?
Where do you got to go? So the let's see what the Twitter handle is. At MZNOOR786. Mohammed Zubir Nurani.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job.
He does an awesome job with this.
The last
Twitter.
few years,
every March
honestly,
Madness.
Excellent job. It's been a lot of fun with this every year.
So go vote for your CHGO Bears crew, and
I've got the Twitter handle on screen. Hopefully that's correct, right?
Yep, MZ.
Everyone go there. Vote for our CHGO Bears, guys. Pull Carm out from the depths of defeat.
Get me to 30%.
Comeback win.
Please get me to 30.
No, give them the win. We have 1,300 people watching.
Let's
you
go.
can win this thing.
Come on.
Okay, right now, get me to the victory, and if I win, everybody that voted for me, I will find you and get you something. I literally, if I won the thing, 1,300 T-shirts, what would that be? 1,300 times.
Well, we're doing math.
a lot of money.
And I'm
1,300.
attention.
Let's just say.
Also, Will DeWitt's in here. He's going up against Adam Johns, 92% to 8%.
Damn, Johnsy,
That's a
matchup.
tough one with the 1 seed.
But Will came back. He was losing in the.
He
in the
was,
first.
yeah. So these last minute pushes make it happen.
I need a last minute push.
Do it for us. Let's go.
Everybody that hates me, you need to vote for me. Where is he? Actually, I see all I got is love right now. Thank you so much. All right. You're going down to Bears blog. Who's the Bears blog?
What?
Who is he?
What do you mean, who is he?
Is there a name behind the Bears
His
blog?
name's Jeff Hughes.
Thank you. That's what I need to know. I know
he's
you know.
been
him.
around for a long time.
Okay, well, whatever.
How do you not know who the Bears blog is?
Because I don't know who the Bears blog is. Do you know who Jeff Hughes is?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Well, maybe
been
do I know who
covering
he
the
is?
Bears for a long time.
Do I know who he is?
I don't
You probably do.
Maybe
He's
you
the
do.
guy that would he's the guy that like breaks Bears news that nobody like.
Has he ever come to Dallas or anything like
No,
that?
he's from
Just-
like upstate New York.
He
or
lives
he's
in New
from-
York?
Yeah.
I'm losing to a guy in New York?
Yeah.
Fake Bears fan?
No,
He's
he's
a real Bears
he's
fan?
always got like inside information.
got
One off season, he was like ahead of it with like who the Bears were going to hire with the last,
What are we talking about here? Ryan Pohl.
Whatever.
Matt Eberflus. He was ahead of like
Eberflus.
the Eberflus hiring and stuff, and
Charlie, you just vote
buried
for me.
Dan Wiederer for like a month and a half.
I'm going to take down Jeff Hughes and a Bears blog.
All right, we got a $10 super chat from Stephen D. Tired of the bullshit. Dudes are out here with outrageous expectations just to justify continue to be butthurt over the fact Fields is gone. Seriously, some of these people need a grief counselor.
Hey, man, let people have their feelings. Posters went up. Jerseys went up. You got to let them have their process. Pizzatola. Braggs, here's $2 to get Karma diaper.
Yes.
That is my Pizzatola.
Love it.
Rick Wallace. Karma's insecure beyond belief. That's right, Wallace. I have massive insecurities. As do you, Wallace. As does Nick. As does Greg. As does Steven. Let's all breathe and believe in ourselves. All right. Hey, that was a fun show.
It was fun. Good times.
Great job by Hoge down in Orlando. Great job by Steven battling through some technical issues. Great job by you, Greg, today. As always, you are the man, and you are our leader, and you are taking us to the promised land.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Bear down 27. Carm sucks. This is for you. Actually, we got to, what, are we moving?
26%.
We're up 1%?
26. And look, see the check?
And Greg voted for me. Happy birthday to Poppy. And special shout out on the way out, as per always.
Do we have a diehard?
We have one diehard. Is that where you were going
we
with
had
this?
more than one diehard. Megan. Megan. Used to be a tenant of mine. Now has gone on to great things, and now supporting us as a diehard. What do you want to say about Megan? Beautiful, smart, athletic, dynamic, a great Bears fan. Megan, welcome to the fold. No, Matthew Brown Poppy doesn't have an Insta, but maybe she will someday.
Get
All
some
right.
money off that, yeah.
Braggs, any final words? I don't want to leave, but I feel like it's time. Are you here today?
Yeah, we're 2 days away from
Purdue
versus Gonzaga.
Okay.
Well, we could break this down for like 10 minutes. Give me a second. Give me a
we're good.
second.
We should talk about the Iowa women's basketball team.
Illinois on Thursday, Purdue
down Colorado.
on Friday.
Caitlin Clark.
We got a big week coming up. And hey,
Iowa.
tune in to CHGO Cubs here at 3:30 for some big announcements. Opening day for the Cubs and Sox coming up on Thursday, and we have some big announcements for all of you if you tune into CHGO Cubs here coming up.
Go Cats.
Go Hawkeyes.
We all silly like the mayor.